in the Southern Section Baseball. Hart ends up winning the title 7-6 over Moore Park. But our Tarek Fatal, who's going to join me after you see his breakdown of what happened, will join us. Let's take this time now to show you this breakdown by Tarek Fatal. You'll love it.
Moore Park's Taylor Bush is up to bat in the bottom of the seventh, no outs, down 7-6. He barrels this ball to left field. It appears in this video, it clears the wall. The ball disappears behind the wall. The ump calls it fair, and it looks to be a walk-off home run. It even looks like the trajectory of the ball falls differently, like maybe it hits the inside of that foul pole. What plays out from here is wild and so ambiguous, but basically this is ruled a ground rule double, and that's why the runner is stopped between second and third. There's some confusion, what's going on, but the third base ump comes back and twirls his hands, home run. So what happens? The stadium goes crazy. The people in the score box end up thinking, okay, well, if the ump says it's a homer, it's got to be a homer. So the lights go off, and Moore Park thinks they've just won this game 8-7 on a walk-off home run to win a CIF championship. But hold the phone, the umps converge and decide it's a ground rule double. That was the initial call, despite the ump giving the twirl of a home run. Hart goes on to win 7-6, despite Moore Park having runners on second and third and no outs. The Indians go and get 3 straight outs to win the CIF championship. Here's one more angle from NFHS. Bush hits this ball to left field, and it appears again that this ball disappears. Where would it bounce? Where would it bounce? In fact, even in this slow-mo, it might even look like the ball gets stuck in the wall. So how could this be called a ground rule double? Well, the umpires aren't available to talk about the game, but people at the ballpark thought they saw the ball bounce. The Hart left fielder says the ball bounced. Now, I get generally ground rule double. You see the ball hit the ground, you see the ball come back up and go over the fence. In the videos we saw previously, we don't see a ball come back up off the ground and over a fence, right? Hold the phone one more time. We think we see the ball disappear over the wall. It's not, it just happens to get lost. And there's the ball again on the inside of the wall. It takes a bounce, comes back up, and goes over the left side fence of the foul pole. That's why the ump signals it fair. Why he comes back and circles it to be a home run, I do not know, but that looks like the ball may have bounced in play. Okay, so people online seem to think that this wall is see-through, and I'm walking up to it. Now again, I don't have a dog in this race, guys, but I just want the facts to be out there. So you guys think this gap, which at night probably seems a lot darker, right, because of the shadows and the lights, but in the video I created, we see the ball. In one of the videos, we do see a ball that bounces up and goes over this wall. Probably lands up in this area, which you're thinking if this ball's straight, there's no way it could land here and then over the wall, right? The just trajectory of it would hit the top of the wall, right? We'd see it. But this ball's tailing left, hits here, and jumps left. So it's in play, boom, and jumps left over the wall. And people are saying, oh, well, we're seeing the ball come up on the other side of the fence. Guys, there's nothing to see through here. Okay, there's nothing on the other side of this fence. So again, just sharing factually, this wall you cannot see through. So those thinking that the ball bounces, people think that we're seeing the ball go over the fence and then bounce behind the fence and we can see it through the gap. There's nothing to see through, guys.
Well, after watching Tarek's report, he's convinced me and hopefully you that the ball bounced and Hart deserved to win the title 7-6. Tarek, crazy situation. We also have to throw out the fact that Ian Edwards did a great job because Moore Park, the Musketeers had runners at second and third, no out after the ground rule double, and he got 3 straight outs to get him out of the inning.
There's a million ways to look at this. You know, a lot of baseball coaches actually reached out to me and said, hey, Tarek, I've been coaching baseball a long time, and that Moore Park third base coach doesn't react like that ball goes over the fence. coaches are going, man, I've been coaching a long time. If I know that's a walk-off home run and I'm coaching third base, I'm going nuts. And that coach doesn't do that. That's another indicator. There's a million ways to cut it. Look, I'm actually not going to say I think the ball did this or that. My job is to report as much information as I can and let the viewer decide, and I felt like I did my job.
You did your job, and the ball bounced. So congratulations to Hart. Congratulations to Jim Ozella. Retires after 25 years as the Hart coach and wins the CIF championship in D2. Some other great games. Another one we have to look at is Beckman over St. John Bosco in a game that went 8 innings. Beckman won it 2-1 in 8 frames. There's the final there. That is D3, and again, final in 8 innings. And in D4, Camarillo, the Scorpions, able to get by a very good St. Francis team, again, 2-1. Some very competitive games in the southern section. D1, Corona High School, probably the national champion after Ethan Scheifelbein's 2-hitter, 5-0 over a very good Harvard Westlake team.
I think from the very moment this season started, before a pitch was even thrown, the Panthers were pegged as the team to beat. And so generally when you're a defending champion, you become the hunted, Randy. But these guys were the hunted without winning a championship the year prior. So they're getting everyone's best shot. And despite that, kudos to Coach Wise and his ball club for basically being able to take everyone's best shot and keep pushing. And they're going to be, they are Division I champions.
Yeah, Andy's done a great job, Andy Wise, and he's with us now. Coach, congratulations, 5-0. After looking at all those Southern Section scores, it seems like an easy game. But I know it's never easy, and you had some bumps in the road along the way, but you won the championship. Congratulations, great job.
Thank you so much. Had a fantastic group from the start. And we just went out there, and you got to prove it. You know, we knew we were talented, and we knew people were going to come try to get us, but you just got to go play the games and prove who you are.
You know, they always say, Coach, it's tough when you have a target on your back, right? You're the #1 team in Southern California. I had Les Lukacs on this show a few weeks ago. He's a guy that knows everything about Southern California baseball. He said this is definitely the best team in the country, talking about your depth. How difficult is it to be that team with the target on your back?
You know, I've been on both ends. We've been, you know, we usually call ourselves big game hunters. We're looking for these games. So, you know, we're kind of used to it as a program. And I think the kids that we have in the program right now, either, you know, they had been through it with us or outside of the program. And we brought them in and just tried to get them used to, you know, we're going to just do what we do. And it doesn't matter where we're playing. And that's always been the motto of the program. You know, 60 feet, 6 inches, 90 feet. 3 outs, you know, so, you know, the rules, you guys got to go out and play the game. So we enjoyed proving it. I think the boys really enjoyed each other. They enjoyed each other's work ethic, fight, grit, and I think they enjoyed watching each other go out and compete.
Coach, when the expectations right from the beginning are, you guys got to win a CIF championship, maybe more. How do you approach it as a coach and go, okay, fellas, that might be the end goal, but we need to chop this season up into maybe more intermediate goals? Was that the approach coming in, or was it always the macro look? Hey, look, this is the goal. It is a championship, and we're slowly working towards it.
Yeah, it truly was the goal. You know, if you want to go piece by piece, we always want to win our league. It's a tough league. The Big 8 is a very difficult league. We were fortunate enough to get through everybody this year and go 15-0. It's the first time we've done that. And then we, of course, would like to win one of the tournaments, or maybe all the tournaments, of course. I think we won, you know, what might be considered the biggest one is that National High School Invitational. And then to come win the big one at the end was truly the all-in goal with this group, is we wanted to win our last game. And that's the CIF championship.
Well, Coach, congratulations on that. And before I let you go, I want you to talk about your 2 starting pitchers. And I know you had more than 2. I know you had Sam Burgess, who did everything, include hitting a 3-run homer in the championship game. But Scheifelbein and Hernandez, a senior and a junior, the LA Times has stated that might have been the best 1-2 pitching punch ever in SoCal. Talk about those 2 young men.
You know, Ethan Scheifelbein, Seth Hernandez, incredible pitchers, not great athletes, competitors, worked with each other, worked to, you could tell they were one. I don't want to say they wanted to one up each other, but they definitely needed to carry their own weight and they were doing their own thing. But those are special, special pitchers. And I think what we did, if you want to talk about building up towards something, we made sure that we took care of those guys arm wise, body wise, especially early in the year, so they could perform at this level when they could achieve the things that they really wanted to achieve.
Well, we just saw the Burgess. We saw the Burgess home run in the championship game. Coach, congratulations. We know you're going to win some national championships because there's numerous polls. You're going to get at least 1 or 2 national titles, and that banner, I'm sure, will be very proudly displayed at Corona High School for the Panthers. Congratulations.
Thank you, guys. Thanks for having me. I appreciate you guys.
You got it. Andy Weiss, a tremendous team that went through the season, playing a tough schedule, and wins it all.
One of my favorite things that Coach Weiss said to me after, I said, Coach, kind of to your mantra, you got the target on your back, and he just said, I never asked any of these guys to be more than what they are. They're all so talented. If they just show up and play their own, I don't need you to be a superhero. Just play the way you know you can play, and as a whole, we'll accomplish what we need to, and they did.
What they are is champions. Let's check out the LA City section. This was a shock to a lot of people. Granada Hills plays Bell. Now, Bell's got a good team. They're the 4 seed, but they knock off Granada Hills, the Highlanders, the number 1 seed, and they beat them 1-0. You see in the other semi, Birmingham, the defending champion, in a very solid game over Carson, 3-0. Let's go back to that Bell game, Tarek. That shocked a lot of people. Bell, the last time they got to the highest level in a championship game was 1953. They lost at 43-53. Yeah. We don't remember that. They've won some lower division titles.
Correct.
They have a real shot here against a very good Birmingham team.
Yeah, I think the shot is there. Why? Because it's Dodger Stadium and anything can happen in a final. But yeah, Granada Hills 4 times in a row, they've been the number 1 seed in the Open, and this being their 4th time. And at Pepperdine University, they had bases loaded in the 3rd inning, bases loaded in the 4th inning, and then they had 2 runners on with no outs in the 6th inning and no runs produced. They stranded 12 runners. So really, really bad luck maybe for Granada, but Bell certainly deserves to be at Dodger Stadium.
Yeah, they are at Dodger Stadium, and at 1 o'clock Saturday, we will see if Bell can capture the title over favored Birmingham. Division 1. You can see the records, by the way. There they are, very solid. Here's Division 1, North Hollywood. The Huskies, again, I'm a little prejudiced here. That's my alma mater. 6-2 over Chatsworth. They'll make a real opportunity for themselves.
Sure.
They'll play at the 10 o'clock time slot at Dodger Stadium against a very good Banning team. They're their records. They're seated right next to each other at 8-7. So this figures to be tight.
Yeah, I think it's a anybody goes game. And for programs like this that have never been to Dodger Stadium or haven't been there in a long time, these players have certainly never played in Dodger Stadium in recent years. So it's more about who's going to be in more awe, who can actually play with a little more composure,
Sure.
is going to end, and who can make less mistakes with all that space out there. That's the team that's going to win that game.
As great as the baseball was, we didn't have quite as much controversy in the city section, in softball, or in the southern section, but we did have some great stories. Okay, first and foremost, let's talk about a team from Garfield with their tremendous student body support. They get by Kennedy of Granada Hills 5-2. That was in D1. In D2, Chatsworth, who is historically a very solid team in the city section, dropping down to D2, getting the championship 12-2. But the open division game was a classic. 1-0 for Carson, 14 innings. Giselle Pantoja goes the distance, pitches a 1-hitter, strikes out 17. She didn't allow the hit until the 13th inning, and Alana Lankford, the walk-off, really not walk-off because it happened in the top of the 14th, but she beats Granada Hills again. She beat them with a 2-run homer last year in the final.
Rough week to be a Highlander, huh?
Yeah.
Listen, when you're talking about the nitty-gritty of the 13th, the 14th inning, if I'm not mistaken, I want to say Dick Dornan said this game lasted 4+ hours.
Right.
So when you're just, itching your eyes and you're ready to go to bed, but there's a championship on the line, it takes one finite mistake, and it sounds like Carson took advantage, and now they're city champions for it.
And I think we got a lot of the Carson young ladies and the head coach with us, Coach Rudy Aguirre, who had great success at batting. We got Alana Lankford, she hit the homer. We got Giselle with us as well, Pantoja. Congratulations, Colts. You did a great job. Let's start with you, Coach Rudy Aguirre. Again, you see Granada Hills on the other side of the field. You know you had a war with them. You beat them 12-10 last year after they erased a 10-run deficit. Now you see them again. Your first thought going into this championship game, what would it take to beat the Highlanders? Because they were the #1 ranked team.
Yeah, they came in, I think, with a 27-2 record. And we knew they were going to be tough. They have a really good pitcher in Mormon that was throwing. And I knew it was going to be a tough game. We worked a lot on hitting. We worked a lot on the rise ball. I knew she threw the rise ball. But, these girls, they worked hard in practice. And we practiced long practices. So they did a good job.
My question's for Giselle. As you continue to pitch basically a scoreless gem through 7 innings, 8 innings, 9 innings, 10 innings. I mean, you just keep pitching it. At what point did you feel like, okay, my offense is going to support me. I'm going to get some runs here. When did you start to feel like that was going to happen? Because it sounds like it didn't happen for obviously quite some time.
I wasn't sure when it was going to happen, but not 1 second did I lose trust in my team. I knew we were going to get the job done, and I knew somebody was going to step up like Alana did. And I'm just so very proud of the team.
Alana, walk us through the at-bat.
So I was battling a lot of pitches to left field, and then it was a 3-2 count. I was waiting for her to miss the spot, and once I saw it, I jumped on it, and it was gone.
Okay, Alana, you did this the year before. I mean, you lived the dream once. So now you've lived the dream twice. I kiddingly said before the show, and I actually mean it, you belong in the Carson Hall of Fame. You have 2 home runs to give your team 2 championships. Which one was different? I know you had to feel great about both of them, but which one excited you the most of the homers?
I think this year's game excited me the most, given that we went 14 long innings, and it's my senior year, and all I can say is I gave it all out on the field, and I'm just so proud of our team.
Well, you should be proud. You deserve to be proud. Rudy, you've been around softball in the city section a long time. You saw the great El Camino teams. You saw the great teams from San Pedro over the years, firsthand because you were in the Marine League. Now it's Carson's turn. What's turned it around? You've always been good at Carson. Cam Warner had great teams there, but seemingly never got over the hump or occasionally got over the hump. But now you're the team. What's changed?
Giselle, and we've been getting a lot of really good players that come in. Giselle developed an off-speed and a changeup this year that she can throw for a strike. It wasn't just about just showing it. It was, throwing it for a strike. And I think it kept a lot of teams off balance. And the hitters behind us, we got really good freshmen came in, Kaylee Allen. We got some sophomores, Ruby Grajeda, and we got really good leadership, like, Riley Garner and Rihanna Manalupe. And, last year, our catcher, we were going through some catching problems, and we converted a third baseman into a catcher in Alyssa Villasenor.
Giselle and Alana, this question, Giselle, you can go first. Just answer this. What's been the reception like at school since you've won, not one, but now 2 city championships for both you guys?
There's there's been a lot of compliments and a lot of praise from a lot of teachers, friends, fellow classmates. The school takes a lot of pride in winning, so I think this was a big deal.
So, Alana, are your teachers giving you like A's now automatically?
I wish. But yes, they're just all congratulating us as a whole. And all I say is the Cool Love is strong at our school, and they take pride in everything, especially sports.
Well, girls, congratulations. I know, Alana, you're on to college. Hopefully you'll play some college softball, but you've had a magnificent career. Giselle, I know you have another year to torment the rest of the city. Coach Aguirre, congratulations. Tremendous job, back-to-back titles. And I know you're not welcome in the Valley at Granada Hills for sure. And you can't take Alana can't go into the valley. She'll get arrested if she goes into the valley. So congratulations on the championship and continued success, and we'll see you guys down the road.
Thank you.
Thank you guys.
Thank
Shout
you.
out to the team. We love you guys.
Love you.
Love you, Dad.
Okay.
And I want to say one more thing. My shortstop, Shannon Lee, that line drive shot that she caught at shortstop, that was really big for us in the bottom of the 14th inning.
It takes a team to win a championship. You know, we see that in pro sports. You can have great players, but if you don't have the team, you don't win. And it takes a lot of players to get it done. Congratulations, Carson Colts. You deserve the title.
Thank you.
Thank you guys for having us.
Bye, guys.
You got it. Nice young ladies, good coach. They got it done.
Hey, you know what? When you win the last game of the season, that's all that matters, and they'll remember that forever.
They should. All right, some other softball action in the southern section. This is a team that was kind of like Corona on the baseball side in the southern section. That's Pacifica of Garden Grove. They were the favorite all year long. I felt Orange Lutheran had a shot because they had a big-time pitcher, but Pacifica and pitcher Bryn Nally able to get it done. She got the shutout. Kanaya Bragg, who's been on this show on her way to UCLA, hit a solo homer, and the Mariners repeat as CIF champions.
It was a great game. I was there for it, and I believe we have a highlight of what was the best play of the game, and it was Kai Miners, who's going to Oklahoma. She's a center fielder for Orange Lutheran, and this was a no-doubter, Randy. I mean, this ball's over the fence. No ground rule double controversy here, and she goes up and nabs that thing over the wall. Really, really impressive play.
That was a play that is up for National Play of the Week from SB Live, right?
That's true. National Play of the Week. Maybe it gets in the mix for National Play of the Year, but that's like legit left center. That wasn't, she had to really get on her horse there and get to that fence, and for her to rise up and bring it back was really, really cool.
Yeah, great catch, and another team like Pacifica that deserve to be number one all season long, and maybe they too could win the national title. You can have a baseball team from Corona and Pacifica in softball both win national titles. I think that's going to happen. And when we get to volleyball in a moment, I think a third team, Loyola, is going to win the national title in boys volleyball. All right, some other divisions in softball to talk about. There's Gar's hard-earned 5-4 victory. The Gladiators got 2 runs in the 7th. Marley Cortez drives in the game winner.
Yeah, good. Again, high-level softball. These are teams that are really on the brink of Division I. So much competition at that level. And listen, Tony Arduino, the softball coach at Pacifica, has said many times he thinks that SoCal softball is the best in the country.
Let's look at some of these other finals in the southern section. We'll start with D3 and Etiwanda getting a championship. Again, all these divisions are very good. Etiwanda over ML King. That's Martin Luther King. The next one is Paraclete in D4 over JW North. That was one game. As you can see, the Brianna Weiss had the big game there. Valley Christian over Liberty. Give me Valley Christian, don't give me Liberty. 8-7 in D5. Here's Ganesha. Wow, 21 runs in a championship game. Can't do it much better than that in the title tilt. How about Eastside 11-2 over Oxford? I am not familiar with Oxford Academy. Hesperia Christian over Harupa Valley 8-7. That's 1 through 8 in the divisions.
Yeah, again, when you're talking about trying to win the last game of the season, for some of these teams, they've opted out of the regionals, so this was it for them.
Told you we're going to talk a little volleyball. This is an amazing accomplishment. Loyola wins CIF Southern Section. Now they win the regional title. That's it. There's no state finals in boys volleyball. There's just the regional final. They beat Miracosta in the CIF final 3-0. They beat them during the regular season 3-0. They beat them 3-0 here. That means the Cubs, over a great Miracosta team, swept all 9 sets.
Yeah, Michael Boley, a friend of the show, is the coach at Loyola, and he had his team dialed in. And, of course, when you got the number one player in the country, things are going to go your way.
Yeah, Sean Kelly's great. He's on his way to UCLA, and he did a great number on Miracosta. Unfortunately, for Miracosta, they ran into a great Loyola this team, and this Loyola Cub team is going to be the national champions. All right, let's turn our attention to football. Obviously, we all know about Mater Dei, the coaching change. Frank McManus out, Raul Lar in. They have a 7-on-7 tournament, It came down to Mater Dei and Bosco. Does anything ever change
Shocker.
in Southern Section football? That is not a shocker. 7-0 Mater Dei. I think the story here at Long Beach Wilson, Laura takes over the program and immediately wins a passing league tourney.
Yeah, it's a big step for Mater Dei in regard to, listen, that's 3 coaches in 3 years now. Rollinson, McManus, and now Laura. It's different for the Monarchs that have had Rollinson there for 30-plus years. So, listen, how much does a passing league matter? Not a lot. But when you're talking about new guidance, new leadership, it shows a little bit how the team's being run. Is it more disciplined? Is it not? So on and so forth. So you can see some things in passing leagues, and especially under new leadership, you can get a pulse on what that's going to look like in the future. Does that mean they're going to go and be national champions in the fall, or they're going to go winless? No, we can't tell, but it's a good start.
They got a good chance to have a very good team. And one of the factors is they got Dash Beerley, who's getting reps now in these 7-on-7s. He's the quarterback. He's a transfer. He appears to be very good. He's already got a scholarship waiting for him at Washington.
Correct. Washington commit. He was at Chaparral, and they were really, really good. I mean, a really, really standout player. To me, when he transferred to Mater Dei, I didn't think, okay, here's the big 5-star quarterback that's going to lead him to the promised land. He's a 3-star rated quarterback. Doesn't mean he's bad, or going to Washington is certainly a good program. I just don't know. I haven't quite seen yet, is he that elite quarterback that Mater Dei is known for? I don't know yet. Maybe he is.
All right, speaking of elite quarterbacks, I wrote down a list when I knew we were going to talk about Beerley at Mater Dei. Husan Longstreet, Centennial. Brady Smigel, Newberry Park. Wyatt Becker, Sierra Canyon. There's the list, in fact.
Ryan
Rakowski, Palos Verdes, who was brilliant as a freshman. Luke Fahey, Mission Viejo, and Superman, the man of steel, Steel Pizzella.
To me, the name that jumps off this list here is Brady Smigel. I mean, this is the guy that's thrown, I think, near 100 touchdowns in 2 seasons. It's remarkable. I'd be surprised if he sticks around for his senior year. Sometimes, Randy, when you're watching high school athletics, like I've seen the Boozer twins, Carlos Boozer's sons, I've seen them play high school basketball, and the eldest one is Cam Boozer, and he's only a junior, and you think to yourself, this kid's going to play 2 more years of high school sports. There's just athletes that you just know are probably going to reclass and leave early. Why? Because there's nothing left to challenge them at the high school level. And in my opinion, a young man like Brady Smigel, not saying he has to do it, but I just wouldn't be surprised if he plays his junior year and then decides, you know what, it's time to go to college, and he goes and does so.
All those quarterbacks that we just showed you are great, but I want to also give a shout-out to Ryan Rakowski. He only threw 3 interceptions last year for Palos Verdes as a freshman.
Correct.
He didn't make mistakes. You would think a guy that young would make mistakes. He led them to an undefeated regular season. Yep. Then they play Mission Viejo. They played up in the playoffs and got beat.
High. Yeah, they shouldn't have been in Division II. They played so well. They almost played too well. But I went and watched Ryan Rakowski when Palos Verdes played Edison, and they beat him. And that was a big win for them. And he went on to, like you said, lead them to a regular season, undefeated regular season. And as a freshman quarterback, that's really, really special. So I'm looking forward to watching him the next 3 years.
You know what's really, really special? The city championship game is being at Dodger Stadium.
Yes.
I already talked about North Hollywood. They're going to play Banning. And then we got the second game. Bell, our producer, Larry Zaval's thrilled because he loves Bell, and that's where he went to school. And they got a shot to win it all against Birmingham in the highest division. But it's also known for the hot dogs. Now, they used to be great. Now, I've been told I'm limited to just one. So we're going to be there on Saturday, and we'll see if I get just one hot dog.
Yeah, you know, what's odd is you always find a way to put together the weirdest plate of food.
I do.
And so I've taken photos of that. You'll put like half a head of lettuce, some relish, and like a dab of ketchup, and like half a hot dog, and you're just a weird guy, man.
You're documenting the way I eat at Dodger Stadium.
Well, there's I know Eric Sonheimer does it too.
He does.
He does take photos of you while you're eating the weird stuff.
Eric has a fetish about me and hot dogs. That's all he talks about.
Let's not go there.
No, he talks like he can't. No, it's about he thinks I'm going to eat 6 or 7. He wants to know if I'm going to eat 8. I was in the hot dog eating contest many years ago. I got blown out, though.
He might have a leg to stand on in that regard. I will say this, man. The Dodger dogs aren't the same. That's just the truth. They're just not the same. I think they're not farmers or whatever.
No, they're not. Farmers went bye-bye, and the
There's
taste
something
is
else
not
now.
great.
That's a shame.
Who do you like in those games, by the way?
Give me Birmingham and give me the Huskies.
You like the Huskies,
I'm rooting for the Huskies.
rooting for the Huskies is one thing. I just don't know. You really think they're going to beat Banning?
Yes.
Wow.
Give me the Huskies in a stunner.
Huskies in a stunner and Birmingham going chalk.
Are you gonna represent the Huskies at all?
No.
Like no shirt, nothing.
No. I'm
Letterman?
in broadcasting. No.
Oh, please, broadcasting.
It's all about the hot dogs on Saturday.
You can totally get away with being a homer.
No, I'm not a homer. That's just not how I'm wired. That's going to wrap up the show. We thank our guests. We had a ton of them from Carson and, of course, Andy Weiss from Corona High School. Carson, the coach, Rudy Aguirre, Alana Lankford, and Giselle Pantoja.
Mr. Journalism.
Mr. Journalism. We'll see you next Thursday night, everybody. Have
The
a great
Huskies are at Dodger Stadium, and you're not going to
I'm
wear
going
a little...
to the game
I
for
know, but you're
crying
not
out
going to
loud.
wear a little something?
No, I'll wear a shirt and maybe even a tie and eat hot dogs.
Blue, though, for the Huskies?
Yeah, that's a good idea. I'll go blue.
Okay, that's
I'll
fair.
go blue Huskies.
That's fair.